So some time ago, Meta Tactical sent me this. Well, it's really this, not the gun, but this. It is the MX-1. And I'll be honest, I thought it might be just another one of those cool on Instagram, useless in real life things. You know the type. Looks real slick in photos, but the minute you pick it up, you can tell it was designed by people who like the idea of guns more than the work of using them. I went ahead and I slid my Glock inside of this chassis system.
I see what you did there.
I clicked it shut, then I shouldered it, and for a second I just stared. Because it surprised me. Not in the, oh, that's neat kind of way, but in the, oh, this shit actually works kind of way. Like a toy that learned responsibility overnight. You see, because largely these kind of chassis systems can feel a little wonky, but immediately I didn't feel that with this. Bottom line, what is it? The MX-1 it's a drop-in chassis for Glocks. Not one model, but for like almost all of them. They got G17s, 19s, 34s, compact subs. There are adapters for the smaller ones. You can install this thing in an incredibly stupidly short amount of time. It's really simple to do. You just open it, drop it in, click, and there's no tools needed. You just literally slide the gun in, click it, and you're good to go. There's no gunsmithing required, no ceremony. For what it does and the hardware it brings, aluminum top rail, metal reinforcements where it counts, optional aluminum stock, and the price sits right around $300, which if you think about it is kind of nuts for what you're getting. Now, that compatibility matters because it keeps this thing from being a one-trick pony. You're not buying a kit for just one gun and being stuck with it forever. Think of it like buying a high-quality suitcase you can shove different shoes into depending on the trip. Same luggage, different purpose. Now, on the range is where the MX-1 stopped being a curiosity and started being practical. When I fired it, follow-up shots felt faster, not some internet viral faster claim, but the real kind. You press the trigger, the sights come back on target, and you make the next shot without that awkward pause your body normally takes to reacquire the front sight. The sight picture itself was steady. Part of that is because you've got a real full-length rail now. You can mount a proper optic on it. Now, this came with this Meta Tactical version of an optic, and it did what it needed to do. But if you're like, nah, I want to put a real optic on there, not saying that this ain't real, but you get what I'm getting at. But you can easily do that with no problem because of this full-length aluminum rail. And that alone kind of makes the whole experience more rifle-like. The recoil doesn't pancake you, it's a straight push back into your shoulder. So instead of the Glock snapping up like it's trying to say hello to your nose, it goes straight back and lets you keep shooting. Now, before you finish watching this video, I want to quickly talk about the hearing protection that I'm wearing in this video. These are the AKT1 Blackout wireless in-ear hearing protection with Bluetooth. I like to call them the AirPods for shooters. I say for shooters because AirPods don't protect your hearing, but these do. They are hands down my favorite in-ear hearing protection that I've ever used, and I mean ever. They have an NR 25 dB auto noise blocking. They can enhance your hearing by 6 times. They have advanced noise cancellation, Bluetooth connectivity with high fidelity speakers so you can take phone calls and listen to music. They have a battery life of 10 hours with an additional 30 hours in a charging case, and they're low profile and stylish enough to fit in not only at the gun range, but in your gym, while you're studying, working, at school, at home, you name it. I'm in love with these things, and now they're finally available on my store at shop.mrcolionnoir.com, or you can just click the link in the description section of this video. Ergonomically, it is thoughtful. There's a thumb ledge that actually helps you manage the gun instead of forcing an awkward grip. The brace locks up incredibly solid, and the thing just sits like it was designed with hands and shoulders in mind, not just rendered in a CAD for marketing materials. That said, if the Glock you're using doesn't have a relatively long slide, you know, your support thumb might ride a little forward of the barrel axis, which isn't unsafe considering the setup, but it does feel a little sketchy. So I just naturally kind of adjust my grip on the lower half of the frame and the problem pretty much disappears. Now, my hands also kept reaching for a non-existent safety at first. Now, I can blame that on muscle memory, but it also speaks to how much this thing feels like a rifle, because I just kept sweeping up and sweeping down on it thinking that there was a safety, but there isn't, because again, this is a Glock chassis system, not an actual rifle, but it feels so much like it, I kept doing it. Now, this system is an honest playground for accessories. With the full top rail for any optics you want, the M-LOK slots for lights and whatever else you like, and a little spare mag carrier that snaps in. If you want, you can run this completely bare, or you can run it with all of the tactical accoutrements you want to put on here. You want to deck it out and make it a little tiny SBR, you can do that. The modularity here with this thing is the selling point. It morphs into what you need that day, or however you plan to just set it up in general. It is an entire system. These flip up sights are on here. This like you could create a whole meta-tactical system with this thing, because it is incredibly thoughtful in that regard. Like, it's just, I'm still kind of dumbfounded, because my expectations were, I'm gonna be honest, were kind of low. And then from like a practical standpoint, like picture a road trip. You got a Glock 19 on your hip, right? And then you got an MX-1 folded in your bag. Then you get to the hotel, then you slide the pistol into the chassis, and now your nightstand gun has a proper optic, has a proper light, you have a brace on it, or a stock if you decide to do that. And now you pretty much got a little tiny 9mm rifle at your disposal. And then when you wake up, all you gotta do is push a little pin, take this bad boy out, and just pop it back in your holster. And you're back to being a regular, degular, concealed carrying Joe. Boom, in there, slide it, drop it, let's go. Now, real talk, if you're a suppressor first kind of guy, this probably won't be your platform out of the box. I even looked at it, I was like, man, if I could run a suppressor and think like imagine if I could run it like this. It'd be so nasty, but you can't. So if you're kind of like, I need a suppressor on my shit, unless you get kind of creative and figure it out, this is probably going to be too limited for you in terms of suppressor department. Also, after a fair number of rounds, you're going to notice some carbon buildup. There is so you might want to just, stay on top of things, make sure you clean it, wipe it down, do all that stuff. Now, it's not all, it's going to make the gun unreliable kind of thing, but you definitely want to kind of stay on top of that. Now, compared to older conversion kits like this, they're typically a little like too bulky, too flimsy or whimsical in a sense. Not that they were bad, they just kind of had this toyish aspect to them. And then things like, for instance, the Flux Raider. Love the Flux Raider, absolutely love it, but it's a little bit more of a commitment. You've gotta take your gun apart, put it on there. It's not like I can just take it on and off and then bring it back to like concealed carry status in that regard. But the MX-1 kind of hits that sweet spot. It's quick, it's portable, and it doesn't demand permanent commitment. Now, like I said, the Flux Raider is awesome. I love it. But again, it's more involved. This one is fast and it's ready. So why did this one land with me? Because it gives you that kind of rifle-like stability without making you sacrifice the gun you trust. It keeps the identity of your carry pistol, but adds compatibility on demand. That is a useful fucking thing. It's like sliding a better engine into your daily driver without having to buy a whole new car. So yeah, I went in skeptical and I came out impressed. This isn't a shelf queen or a range toy. This is a kit that actually changes how your Glock behaves for the better. Is it perfect? No, nothing is. But for the price, the practicality, and the way it makes a familiar pistol feel like a different animal when you shoulder it, like literally feels like this is solid. I mean, I gotta say, I think it's a win in my book. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a win. So bottom line is, look, the MX-1 surprised me. It took a pistol that I trust and gave it a new personality. It's steadier, it's way more confident, and it's shockingly usable in situations where a bare handgun starts to kind of feel inadequate. It's not, like I said, it's not perfect, but for what it does and how cleanly it does it, I respect this. I respect this. Matter of fact, I like it a lot.